Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There are reasons that so many reputable chart analysts are calling for XRP in the short term to be reaching the $4 to $5 level, and then by the end of the cycle, double-digit XRP. Even the more conservative, most of the more conservative estimates from reasonable analysts out there, even if they're not quite gonna be comfortable to say $10, they're pretty damn close to that. But there are tons of other analysts that are saying, well, actually, it's way more likely it's going to go to $20 or $30 or even higher. And of course, that does depend on how much money flows into the space. But I published a video just yesterday highlighting the reason that it's not crazy to think that XRP could hit $20. And I don't want to rehash all of that. And it's not a price prediction, but it is reasonable to acknowledge that that is something that absolutely, plausibly could happen this market cycle. If even if you just consider how much money is flowing, like say ETH goes to $10,000, the market cap would be equivalent to for XRP at $20 then. So it's not crazy to think this could happen. And so I'm not surprised to see the perspectives that I'm seeing today from tons of different XRP chart analysts. I'm going to highlight some of them in this video and reasons that we very well should be very optimistic here. Including one who says that there's going to be a really violent move for XRP, and not in the bad kind of way. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So let's set the table just a little bit here, expectation-wise, because even though history doesn't literally repeat, it does have a tendency in markets to more or less rhyme with itself. We see a ton of similarities behaviorally from one cycle to the next, and then the next, and then the next, and so on and so forth here. So it's reasonable to come to conclusions about what is likely to occur, though not certain, what is likely to occur based on the past. Pretty simple concept here. And so here's a reason that you should absolutely be excited, because this 100% will impact XRP specifically. This is a post from chart analyst TechDev. I've been following him for probably over half a decade at this point. 487,500 followers on X, and I'd say for good reason. He is a very data-driven individual. And so he's talking about what happened last market cycle, specifically January 2021, and then he notes what's happening now, December 2024. So it reads as follows. It was early January 2021. Bitcoin in week 4 of price discovery, Ethereum 20% below all-time highs. Does that sound familiar? That's pretty close to where we've been these last 24 hours. And then he says Dogecoin at its first pause and Bitcoin dominance had reversed. The next 4 months brought a historic altcoin run as capital rotated and mania hit. Now we get to where we're at right now. These things sound a little bit similar to you? He writes, it's early December 2024. Bitcoin is on week 5 of price discovery. Ethereum 20% below all-time highs. Dogecoin at its first pause, and Bitcoin dominance has reversed. And so a few of those things have been highlighted. I don't really talk about Doge a whole lot on this channel, although I happen to hold it. But that's just for the sake of diversity. I'm not into meme coins, but it's the only top 10. I think it's in top 10 right now, isn't it? Top 10 coin that's a meme. And so for me, it comes to a point where yes, I focus on putting money into coins that have utility because that's where I feel safe. But at some point when I already knew money, got to put it somewhere if I'm going to put it in crypto, I was like, let's just open up the breadth here. Let's go further out the risk curve. You can't 100% research everything. Here's what the market is saying makes sense market cap wise, because that's what this is. It's coins jockeying in position. Those at the higher end, that means that the market on the whole on a global scale is most confident in them. And so I was just like, okay, this Dogecoin thing, it's crazy to me. It still exists. Doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what I think. I want broad exposure. The market has spoken. And so that's what I wish the XRP haters would come to that conclusion. XRP's been in the top 10 coins by market cap for over a decade. How can these idiot sticks not just be like, okay, I don't get it, but maybe there's a chance that I'm wrong and there is something to it, so maybe I should have some exposure. Like, come on. So if you're talking about a large cap like that, I'm like, okay. So there's a certain amount, some time ago, I did personally. Okay. So I don't really talk about Doge a whole lot. Don't care about it a ton. Nothing against it. But the rest of it I talk about, like in terms of Bitcoin, where we're at in the cycle, ETH, that's I mean, my God, when ETH starts running, that is a key signal historically. Things about to get nuts, because then that money, ultimately profit gets taken. That flows into other altcoins. And then another key one, obviously, is Bitcoin dominance. And it has been reversing lately, hasn't it? I've been talking about that a lot too. And so as that happens, that profit that gets taken from Bitcoin, it rolls into other coins, including XRP. That's why this is exciting. That's why you should care about everything I just shared with you. Even if you don't hold ETH, you don't hold Bitcoin, you don't hold Doge, you should still care about that stuff, and you should be aware of it, because that money, a good bit of it, ultimately is going to make its way on down the rest of the coins, including XRP. There is also this post from chart analyst Credible Crypto, and he wrote, a lot of people think many of the old guard, so he's talking old coins, it could be CRV, it could be, pick your coin, Cardano, XRP, it doesn't matter. He says, a lot of people think many of the old guard won't make new all-time high in USD because their market caps are much higher now due to token inflation. And so he says, I stand by the idea that most coins that are down 80 to 90% and have been for months will blow past their prior all-time high by the end of this cycle, as long as they're not outright scams/rugs. Yeah, so I agree with the concept most certainly. And if you're wondering why, well, because think about it. It's true that the circulating supply of XRP is much higher than it was back in 2017. Back then, when I jumped into crypto, I want to say it was like 36 or 37 billion, and now it's more like 57 billion. But you got to understand, like, fine, you can look at the demand side, but people have this bad habit of focusing so much on like the supply side rather, focusing on the supply, how much is circulating, but they don't focus on the increase in demand during bull cycles. So that's less than a twofold increase in supply. Do you think we're going to have more than a twofold increase in demand now that it's 7 years later? I say yes. In fact, it's the case that far less than 1% of humans have ever held XRP at any point in time. I'd say we've got some room to grow. I don't care if all of the XRP that exists right now were in circulating supply. I don't care. I would not care. We'd still see a new all-time high. It does not matter, but a lot of people are having trouble understanding this. So let's talk about XRP. Here's a post from chart analyst Dom, and he wrote, XRP, check out this order book heat map. Each time XRP has stalled and consolidated throughout this uptrend, it was when it hit a large cluster of sell walls above it. It's too accurate to fade or doubt. And so you'll need to look at the screen if you want to see what he's talking about here, but he boxed them. And he wrote, it then needed to regain energy and let some orders be pulled before trying to blast through and eat them. Exactly. And once there aren't a ton of those sell orders, once they get either eaten up or pulled, either way, then it's a lot easier to melt through. And so then he goes further. Like you've heard analysts talk about, there's a key resistance level. He's fleshing out what that is. And this is very useful to understand, in particular if you're new to crypto, you might not know, but this is it. So Dom wrote, everyone hears of resistance. Have you ever asked what resistance even is? Resistance is just a large cluster of sell orders sitting at a higher price level. So it's people trying to sell higher than what the price is right now. And they're out there, the offer's there, and then as people bid the price up, if there's enough demand, then you bump up against the sell orders. That's what it is. That's the resistance. And so if there's a bunch of resistance at one point roughly, then yeah, it's hard at first to break through that. And so then he says, that's why the order book analysis is so powerful. Everything else is technically noise. He also shared this post, opposite of Bitcoin, spot markets control XRP right now. See right when spot started buying, we've lifted. Doesn't need perps. So when you talk about perps, you're talking about leveraged purchasers, and that would be this pinkish purplish line right here. The spot buyers, people buying on exchanges, that's the blue line. You can see that as the price of XRP up here has increased, it was due to spot buyers. That's the point. That is healthier. It's not a bunch of nonsense leverage crap. That's real people that are buying it and really hold it. That's healthy. That's very encouraging to see. Here's a post from chart analyst Bobby A. Bitcoin is up. XRP is up more. ETH is up. XRP is up more. Get used to it. And once the Bitcoin and ETH pairs sort out these resistance levels that they are battling, well, you already know, fam. Well, that's right. And you do know now if you didn't before. You do know now. Eventually, the sell orders get eaten up. There's enough demand, and demand is going to increase. Understand, like we are getting into alt season. A bunch more people are going to come in as they do every single cycle. That equals a lot of demand. Sell orders, they'll get bought up or they will be pulled. That's that. And then eventually a burst to the upside. So I know what's going to happen here. I mean, I say I know. I have strong conviction as to what is most probable, right, to be more precise. Then there's also this. This is from Bobby A. Wrote, this chart really shows you all you need to know. And I wouldn't say literally all you need to know, but I like it. It's an XRP BTC chart. And you can see what has happened throughout history. This goes back a decade. Look at these little teal circles here that shows XRP at its lowest point priced against Bitcoin. And every time it hit this trend line, bounced. And look at how they've rocketed in each instance. And so it's no different here. It's happening now. We just haven't finished the cycle. This will be like way up here or something like that. Like, I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm just saying way higher than where it is right now. And of course, this one isn't as impressive for last cycle, 2021, because, well, Ripple was in a lawsuit and XRP was being attacked. But it's not anymore. XRP has legal clarity. XRP has never been so perfectly positioned in its entire more than 10-year existence. This is incredible. Here's a post from Nick, Crypto Crusader, XRP USD chart. Looks like XRP is ready to reclaim the $2.50 level and finally start the violent move I have been warning about for a bit of time now. RSI plus LMACD are hinting at this move brewing right now. We are currently in a solid sideways range at the moment, just waiting for the breakout. The previous time RSI plus MACD looked like this, while we were ranging the move from $1.28 to $1.95, happened shortly before shortly pushing to $2.80. That's impressive. So you're talking about the range from $1.28 to $1.95. He said that's the same setup effectively with those metrics. Last time that happened, look at how high it pushed up from that range all the way up to $2.80. He's saying, guys, it's looking very samey. So then he wrote, looks like the next stop for XRP is a new all-time high. You have been warned for a while now. Yeah, and so as far as I'm concerned, it's just a matter of time. My conviction is that is by a lot what is most probable. I don't make price predictions, but I do believe that XRP will hit a new all-time high this market cycle in enterprise discovery and melt phases. I'm here for it. I could be wrong. Maybe it goes to zero and I lose everything. I don't think so, though. I just don't think so. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.